Have you heard about this phrase called as creation is finished, which is a very popular Neville Goddard term? So, what is creation is finished? Creation is finished is a term that was given by Neville Goddard in his book Feeling is the Secret. And to be honest, guys, this term creation is finished was like an inspired term that was used by Neville Goddard, and he took inspiration from William Blake. So William Blake saw all the human situations as already made, or he thought that all the situations that could ever exist are already made or already existing in this universe. So in this video, I'm going to talk about creation is finished in detail and how you can use it in your manifestation journey. Hi, my name is Shivani. I'm a manifestation coach. I teach people how to turn their dreams into reality. So if you're looking to book a session with me, check the description and you will find all the details that is required for you to do so. And let's start today's video. So when we say that creation is finished, what does it actually mean? So creation is finished means every situation that can ever exist or can ever happen, it already exists right now at this moment. You do not have to create any situation from the scratch. It is already made. This is what Neville Goddard meant when he said that creation is finished. So I think that creation is finished is a really interesting term, because creation is finished is something that really excites people, because just imagine that all you can ever imagine, all you can ever want already exists right now. You don't have to go look for it. You don't have to create ways to do it, because if you have assumed the feeling of the wish fulfilled, and if you have thought about it just once, it already exists. If you can imagine it, it already exists. You wouldn't have a desire if that desire was not already a possibility in this quantum field. You get a desire because that desire can be achieved. That desire is a possibility. That desire is already a reality, and it exists as a parallel reality. So all you have to do is just select it and just keep selecting it until it gets manifested in your reality. But this is where people fail. People fail to keep selecting it because they think of their 3D as something which is more real than their imagination. This is where human mind is limited. Human mind is limited to only its 5 senses. But if we can go beyond our 5 senses, and if we can really trust on ourselves and think that, okay, my imagination is the only reality, and if I have imagined it, that means it exists and it already is a reality. That is everything that you have to do. Like, you have to imagine it, you have to assume it that it is already a reality. Just keep a faith on your imagination that if I have imagined it, it is already a reality, and your imagination will find its ways to manifest itself. This is all you have to do. So creation is finished is a term that explains parallel realities. So parallel realities means that every reality that can ever exist is happening right now at this moment, simultaneously at the same time. All we have to do is just select what we want and just keep selecting it, keep assuming it, keep persisting in it. And the concept of parallel realities is discussed in so many religions. One religion is Hinduism. So in Hinduism also, it is a concept that parallel realities do exist, and our universe consists of multiple realities, multiple earths that we don't even know, and on every earth there is a different time period going on. So in one earth there is Kali Yuga that is happening right now, which is this one. In some earth, Kali Yuga has already ended and there is a new Yuga that is starting to create. So there are multiple realities that coexist right now, and Neville has explained it very beautifully in his book called Feeling is the Secret. So when I understood the concept of feeling is the secret, and when I actually clicked it in my mind, everything started to, gather all at once. Like, everything started to make sense. Like, when I told myself that creation is already finished, I started to come out of the lack mentality, because if I just have to assume something and I just have to keep persisting in it and it will harden into fact, this is all I have to do. So why do I need to think that, oh, how will it happen? Because it has already happened. All I have to do is just select it and keep selecting it until it gets materialized in our reality. All we can ever manifest is already manifested. We only have to just select it, and it will materialize in our 3D reality. So when we say that we are trying to manifest something, we are not trying to manifest it because it is already manifested. All we are trying to do is just materialize it in our reality. So this term, creation is finished, says that everything is present right now at this moment, and you are really the God. And if you can think it, you can imagine it. That is all you have to keep in mind, that if you can think it, you can achieve it. If you can imagine it, it is a reality already existing. If there is something that you just can't even imagine, probably it exists, but it is not in your mind a possibility at this moment. Like, you don't think that it is possible for you, because we all as humans are limited by our own subconscious mind and our own limitations and our own limiting beliefs. So we have to come above it and work on our limiting beliefs, the beliefs that hold us from expanding our imagination. Because I have seen so many people that I coach. There are so many people that come to me and say that, ma'am, I just can't even imagine that this can happen, because they have limited their imagination by all the limiting beliefs, all the limited mindset, everything. So because they have limited their own mind, that's why they are not even able to expand their imagination to this thing that, oh, this is possible for me. This is what we have to do. We have to, initially we have to force ourselves to think positive, to think greater than what we are thinking, and imagine greater than what we are imagining right now. We as humans are basically conditioned to just keep focusing on limiting things, on our current reality, on our current problems, what is happening in our reality. But if you want to manifest something, which is absolutely possible, because if you have a desire for it, that means it already exists. There is a parallel reality that has it happening in it right now. So what we have to do is just keep persisting and keep selecting the experience that we want to experience by initially forcing ourselves to visualize it. Because I am the living proof of it. At one point of time, I had a wish which I currently have in my life right now. I materialized it in my reality, but at one point of time that was just a wish, and it seemed so impossible to me that I was not even able to think that how is it even possible, and imagining it felt like a biggest lie. But I kept forcing myself to visualize it for initially 1 to 2 months, and after that period of forcing myself to visualize it, I was able to visualize it very easily afterwards. So all we have to do is just force ourselves to visualize it, because everything is already a reality. I still remember that I first read Feeling is the Secret, and it just expanded my brain and it expanded my thinking field. You can say that I expanded my thinking power so much with it, and I was very much able to understand this concept that imagination is the only reality, because that book explained it in so much clarity that it was not even a question for me after reading it 1 to 2 times that imagination is the reality. It made me believe that, okay, imagination is the only reality. And obviously I had imagined and I had manifested some things in my life with my imagination earlier, because I had manifested my own breakup the exact way that I imagined it, by being in a limited state, by being in a sad state, by listening to sad songs. I used to, let me just give you a brief story. So how I manifested my breakup. So it happened this way that I was in a happy relationship, and basically I was limited by my fears, by my self-doubt, by my own negative beliefs and assumptions that we will break up. And I used to just sleep, and before sleeping what I used to do was I used to imagine how would my breakup happen. So I used to put the sad songs in my ears, and I would force myself to imagine and cry, because I felt like crying made me feel happy. But that was something that was creating my reality, and I was not aware that imagination creates reality. And at that point of time I used to think that imagination does nothing. It only and only is a wishful thinking and nothing else. But when it got manifested, I did this for like 7 days. I used to put sad songs in my ears and I used to cry myself to sleep, and imagining the scenario that would happen if my breakup would be happening. So after like a month, it happened the exact same way, and I just told myself that I knew it would happen, because at that point of time I was not aware that imagination is the only reality, and I had imagined it. So because that thing happened, it was like a what can I say, it was a waking point for me, that and also it was one of the biggest proofs that imagination is the only reality. And when I was manifesting my marriage with my SP, I kept this thing in my mind that if I can manifest something negative, I can also manifest something positive. So it happened the exact same way that I imagined. So in the journey of me manifesting my marriage with my SP, I had so many points where I felt that, oh, this is not possible, and how is it even possible when the reality is absolutely opposite. But when I kept repeating to myself that creation is finished, everything that I want is already existing, it helped me to remain in the state of wish fulfilled. So I'm not going to blabber anymore of my own story, but with this story I wanted to tell that your imagination is actually a reality, and if you can imagine it and if you can stay persistent in it, it will harden into fact. Like fucking reason to not accept it as a reality, that imagination is the only reality. Because for me, I have seen it and I have tested it thousands of times, that imagination is the only reality, is the absolute truth. So remember that all the possibilities are currently existing in this quantum field, in this universe. All you have to do is just select it, assume it, persist in it, and it will harden into fact, because this is how your reality works. Your reality works in this way only. All you have to do is just keep a strong faith in your own imagination, that my imagination is the only reality, and you have to keep a very strong faith in your own self rather than in your 3D, because your 3D is just a reflection of your internal world. That is something that you have to keep in mind. And yes, I hope that you liked today's video, and if you did, you know the drill. Like, share and subscribe, and if you want to book a session with me, check the description and you will find all the details that is required for you to do so. And I will see you in my next video. Until then, bye bye, take care.